black t-shirt today, huh?
Yeah, I feel like my nipples are less transparent in this. I like to make sure that my nipples have varying degrees of peekaboo.
Peekaboo.
Peekaboo. So, Regil has made a commitment leading into the show tonight that he's going to be a little more vocal on tonight's show.
Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah.
With that.
Do you feel prepared, Regil?
No, but let's just jump into it.
That's just
all right. He said jump into it. Welcome back to the #1 financial literacy podcast in the world. This is The Higher Standard. Sitting in front of me with the black t-shirt and the salt and pepper beard.
You don't need it. We have a video component of the show.
Yeah, no, but we get more downloads. It's Christopher Nahibi.
Sitting across from me in the old merch site, Omar.
Oh, thank you, my man. And sitting behind the desk in the production suite, if you will, the Fijian himself with the spirit fingers. Regil. What's up, Regil?
What's up, guys?
It's good to be a thing. He's doing a thing.
Just,
yeah. We got a good show for everybody tonight. Face off.
Are you okay? What's going on? You're like choking on it.
Face off. Trump versus the Fed. He's going for it, man.
Yeah.
He's not easing up.
The problem is candidly, it's visible now. We know what you're doing, dog. You ain't that sneaky.
Dog, this has been going on for decades.
I know, but the fact that we went to the level that we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been getting a lot of messages lately from a lot of people, particularly about liking and preferring shows with the three of us as opposed to guests because they feel like we provide better education and more engaging commentary. They know what they're in for. That's their words.
Uh-huh.
And I tend to agree. I like this better. It's easier for me. It's easier for you. It's easier for all of us, right? But one of the things people wanted to talk about is us providing the same level of education on financial topics. And I thought, what better topic than to talk about something that's relevant culturally right now. It's happening.
Mm-hmm. How
there's two sides to the story, and one of them is very dirty. And at the same time, we can teach you a little bit about mortgage fraud.
Right. And this is actually not that we'd be teaching people how to commit mortgage fraud.
No,
but
we would never do that.
But what this really would do, and something that I've been wanting us to do more of, because we did it a lot in the past, was leveraging your expertise and taking people behind the curtains of how these things typically play out.
I don't have a lot of subject matter expertise, but I will admit on this particular topic.
On this one,
I know a little thing.
You got some things.
I got some things I can talk about.
Okay.
So, Regil, are you strapped in? You ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's get a little more color. We're working you through it slowly.
Ready to go,
I'm ready to go.
That's 6 words.
That's
more than 3, right?
He's doubled up his commentary from last episode. All right, so this all started from a Yahoo Finance article where Fed Governor Cook responds after President Trump says she, quote, must resign, end quote.
Wow.
That's a harsh come out the gate.
I mean, that's now 2 Fed officials.
Yeah, he's been targeting them.
Why? Why would he do that?
Well, we're going to get into that. There is a clear and decisive reason as to why. And we alluded to it several shows ago when we talked about the FOMC. If you get rid of Jerome Powell, which has been his most visible critique of the FOMC as of late, as the Fed chair, you still have the problem that there are 11 voting members, including Powell. So even if he steps down as a Fed chair, he still has a vote, and he's still a member of the FOMC, a voting member. So you got to really change the landscape of the vote. So how do you do that? You try to get them all to resign.
Right.
So when I saw that title, I was like, wow, that's pretty harsh. And then I read the article, and I'm like,
Yeah, think of it. It's not very different. Now, there's multiple examples of how this plays out and why he's doing what he's doing. Look at it no different than how they would want someone from the Supreme Court to step down. So some president from someone from their party steps in that aligns with their views or their constituents or the people from their base, right? To get things
I think
passed.
the last one this happened with was Kavanaugh was the guy's name. And
yeah.
He was very, very conservative. I think Trump was actually the one who named him. Very conservative. And you get these lifetime appointments for these guys.
Right.
And they can really sway the law in this country by having a very different perspective. Somebody more liberal, more willing to accommodate a liberal perspective versus somebody more conservative. But they're there for life.
Right. And then for that's just what's like a visible example.
Yeah.
Other examples of this are aligning people on your board, right? And we're going to get into that later in the show, where you would want to put people in place that share the same strategic plan and align with you on what it is you're trying to get accomplished.
Actually, I hadn't really thought about this before the show, but it's worthwhile to note from a corporate governance perspective. There is this weird paradigm that we have in society, and it works this way, but it's not supposed to work this way. A board is supposed to be holding management accountable to executing on strategy that they put in place. Yet at the same time, the strategic plan comes from management. The board is only there to really hold you accountable for effective challenge. But so often, it's the CEO and the company that are picking a board that will reconcile with what they want. And if you're a board member, you don't want to go against the CEO, but it's always the board members that fire the CEOs, because that's how the CEOs get fired, is the board has to make that decision.
Right.
It's just really weird based environment.
And I remember we did an episode on this. I think we dove into OpenAI's board.
Oh yeah.
And we talked about Sam Altman and how he tried to put a balanced board where, because there's one side that leans more towards, having regulatory oversight, and others we should just go full throttle and see where AI can take us.
It was supposed to have a philanthropic kind of approach to it, and an open architecture, and it's supposed to be charitable in nature. It's supposed to be like nonprofit.
Yeah.
And that has seemed to gotten real lost in the mix as of late.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, look at the money that's being thrown around. But yeah, to your point. And we're gonna dive into that later in the show.
I need you to get a little more loose, brother. You're a little tight tonight.
I just really when you put this show together, I was like, oh, this can go so many different ways.
Well, you know me. I like to go both ways.
I do know you. You like to go both ways.
All right. President Trump on Wednesday called on federal Governor Lisa Cook to resign as public pressure on the central bank continues to build. Cook must resign now, Trump wrote on his social media platform Truth Social Wednesday morning. He included a link to a Bloomberg report about a letter sent by the Federal Housing Finance Agency, FHFA, head Bill Pulte, urging Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate Cook over a pair of mortgages. Let's just pause right there.
Yeah.
One government agency urging another government agency to look into another government agency's representative.
Right.
That just screams nepotism.
Yeah, right. It does. Exactly.
Not really nepotism. Conflicts of interest, perhaps.
Well, it's also like, why are you going out of your way to get yourself involved in this over here? Like, this is coming out of where?
Yeah. And just the fact that the president saw the Bloomberg article and knew about it early. And people don't really realize this. The media is more often than you realize manipulated for a reason. It's not uncommon for private equity firms to have relationships with news outlets, to have the news outlets put out stuff that they could not say themselves because it would be influencing the stock price. But if a news outlet says it, then the stock price gets manipulated, but you weren't directly involved. But the media respects your, quote, source and anonymity. It's all dirty. And I've had a front row seat to all this stuff. So let's continue on, because it gets dirty. You're going to feel really filthy after this, okay?
Okay.
You feel nasty.
What kind of level of nasty? Are we talking like did he freak off nasty? Or
I don't know, we can get that close, but certainly I just got off an airplane. I haven't showered in a couple days, and I want to get in my own bed. You want to get in your bed after a red eye? This bastard took me on a red eye.
Motel.
It's just dirty. Who does it? And I'm like, who sleeps on a red eye? This guy passed out.
Yeah, easy. Yep. Easy. Yeah. I'd suggest a red eye if I could sleep on a red eye.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy on a plane who did not sleep. Yeah. The whole time, I'm like, fuck
That's
you.
a personal problem, man.
What?
That's a personal problem.
It's not a personal problem.
Right. It sounds like it's your problem.
So wait, you try to book the next flight.
Gotcha. Yeah.
People are like, why wasn't Saeed there? Because Saeed can't sleep on a red eye either.
They make pills for that, man.
I can't take any drugs, man. Y'all know I get drug tested.
Yeah. Not really.
Not really. I'm unemployed. I was getting my haircut the other day. I was like, man, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. I don't need to get this. Why am I doing this?
I don't have to do any of this. Yeah. I can grow the beard out long. I can grow the hair long. I can get more tattoos. That's probably going to happen.
Yeah, I got a haircut before coming here today. My hair was feeling like a mop. It had been so long since I got a haircut.
Why, you trying to rub it in? You get a fresh cut for shows now?
No, it just coincidentally happened today before the show.
Is that why you got here at 6:30?
No, what? That's the time we scheduled to be here.
I wanted to be here at 5:30. What about you?
Nobody said 5:30. I asked.
5:30.
No, we just acquiesced.
No.
See?
It's
on schedule.
Oh, last week we did 6:30. My bad. If y'all want to do 5:30, we can do 5:30.
Pulled rank on you, dog.
Yeah, he did pull rank on me.
And you wore shorts, you dirty, nasty.
Y'all can't tell. Y'all can't tell. It's under the table.
Don't worry, I'll get that on video. So on Wednesday afternoon, Cook responded and said, I have no intention of being bullied to step down from my position because of some questions raised in a tweet. Shots fired. Mm-hmm. I do intend to take any questions about my financial history seriously as a member of the Federal Reserve, and so I am gathering the accurate information to answer any legitimate questions and provide the facts. Pulte wrote in a letter dated August 15th that Cook had falsified bank documents and property records to acquire more favorable loan terms, potentially committing mortgage fraud under the criminal statute.
All right, let's unpack this a little bit.
We're going to. Don't worry. Let me finish this out. The president's call for Cook to resign comes as public pressure on the Fed continues amid ongoing challenges and changes in the Fed's Board of Governors. Last week, Trump nominated Council of Economic Advisors Chair Stephen Mirren to the Fed board to fill a seat left by Adriana Kugler. Mm-hmm. Can't even say the name. Who stepped down from the board on August 8th. Should Cook also step down, Trump would have the opportunity to nominate another Fed governor.
Yeah. And to your point, and what it says in the show notes, why does it matter? It's because it allows Trump to force somebody out, causes more drama in D.C., and allows him to align people in the Fed and shape the Fed the way he would like it to be, so that they can ultimately work in his favor, right? These people, they don't have long terms, right? And can they actually? It's all based on opinion. So whatever. They can't really, it's not like it's having a seat on the board where you have a fiduciary responsibility. Yes, they have a responsibility to the people, but if it's based on opinion on how you read and perceive the data, then how can they ever be held accountable for it? If somebody wanted to work in his favor, and let's just say, I think we should be cutting rates.
Well, that's why you can't remove them unless you have a cause.
Right.
Once they've been elected, you can't remove them unless you have cause or the term comes to an end.
Yes.
These are very long terms, and it's meaningful. So the problem for, I think, most people is that this fight plays out in front of the homeowners, and it's not the stock market that takes the hit here. It's you, the consumer, that takes the hit as this fight wages on. We're on the front lines of this economic battle.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. That's a meaningful, real problem.
Mm-hmm.
So when markets start to think the Fed is a political pawn, which you can argue is very visibly happening right now, it doesn't matter if the allegations are true or not, because perception becomes the reality in finance and, frankly, in anything.
Right.
And as a guy who lives in the finance world, I can tell you that the perception in a lot of cases matters a whole hell of a lot more than the reality does.
And I feel like now more than ever, just go back to the contagion period, right? And headline risk is everything. So when perception becomes reality, if something happens and they can twist the narrative and control the narrative and start pushing an agenda, they will, right? Whoever they is, whatever they want, whoever is paying to push that agenda along, right?
And what do you mean, you people?
Y'all, not me. I'm an innocent bystander here.
Even if Cook isn't forced out, the perception of a politicized Fed is enough to shake the confidence in the markets. Markets trade on psychology as much as fundamentals. Narrative economics is a great example of this. Robert Shiller's book that he put out not too long ago, I've recommended on the show many times. It effectively focused more on social media's influence, but certainly social media or not. Traditional media has always done this, but social media does it much more visibly. Here we have a tweet that was utilized. You're shaking the confidence of the consumer. Right. If Peter Thiel did this and caused a run on Silicon Valley Bank, that should have been securities fraud. That should have been a violation. It should have been regulated. That caused a bank to fail. We did nothing. We're now playing the same risky game with the Fed and the FOMC.
Right.
And we're doing it under the auspices of, I think this person committed mortgage fraud, which we're going to get into. I don't really see, I get it. This is probably unethical, but does anybody else ever lose their job over this kind of stuff? No.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that just throwing out something like mortgage fraud, I mean, at that point, anything could be considered mortgage fraud,
You know
right?
what this is tantamount to?
Yeah.
You crossing the across the street in front of a crossing guard, and then you getting arrested for a misdemeanor.
Yeah, right. Exactly. There you go.
You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, there's different levels of this, of mortgage fraud, right? Like, yeah, there's people that can falsify like P&L statements, right, to get approved for a loan, that, right, for something that they wouldn't have qualified had they not, versus, I don't know, what are they saying that this person committed? Well, what did they do?
And we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But I'll give you a different example. Now, let's say you cross the street the way you did
Mhm.
to rescue a baby kitten in the middle of the street.
Right. Okay.
Is it still a misdemeanor?
Should
or
it be?
are you a hero?
Right. It's all about the right.
Perspective and perception are very, very important on these things.
Mm-hmm.
So Fed independence versus market perception, we've talked about, but this isn't the first time a president has tried to muscle the Fed. It's practically an American tradition at this point, which is sad to say because we think it's a novel concept and that Trump's unique. And I know people are going to listen to this and be like, oh my God, is he advocating for the president? Is he not advocating for the president? I'm not advocating for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
This is just facts.
Yeah.
Okay?
All facts.
Yeah, no cap.
Mm.
The question is whether the Fed caves or not. And history has shown when it does, the economy usually pays the price. So I'm saying this because you, the consumer, you, the listener, you don't want the Fed to go, shit, we're getting bullied and I don't want to deal with it.
Right.
Because when that happens historically, the economy goes into a little place I like to call the shitter.
Yeah. These people that, got appointed and have taken these positions, they didn't take these positions to be out in front of the people like this. They're not like politicians that are yes, they do Fed speak, right? But that's just to help they too like to control the narrative and control optimism and pessimism in the markets, right? And they're finding out how to use that tool. But for them to get called out like this, that's like, I didn't sign up for this.
And let's be honest, the FOMC members, I'm sorry, I know people's feeling gonna be hurt here. They're nerds. They're nerds. They're finance nerds. I am one too.
I like it. I'm with it.
Like, right. Neil Kashkari is not a cool guy. Okay?
He's not.
He's not the guy at the party everyone's like, yo, Neil's here. Let's go.
Right. He doesn't have the riz, as the kids like to say.
He's the guy that everyone's like, God damn it, Neil's here. Don't talk to him.
Yeah.
That's Neil.
Oh, man. Him again?
Sooner or later, he's going to call me and be like, dog, stop talking about your show, man.
Stop. Yeah. I hear the people sending it to me. Yeah.
It's not good. So LBJ in the Texas Ranch Showdown, 1965 through 1966. Fed Chair William McChesney Martin believed it was the time to tighten monetary policy to fight inflation. President Lyndon B. Johnson, already stretching budgets from the Vietnam War and the Great Society programs, was furious. LBJ summoned Martin to his Texas ranch, cornered him in his living room, and literally grabbed him by the lapels. His words, "Boys are dying in Vietnam, and Bill Martin doesn't care." Damn, LBJ.
Damn.
He's a president.
Yeah.
And we're mad at Trump. LBJ wanted cheap money to fund guns and butter. Martin resisted, but eventually caved. That cave-in helped fuel the inflation that plagued the late 60s. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you right now, if the Fed caves now, I'm going to go on record with Jill.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir. Give me something more.
Yeah.
That's
what you wanted from him. He said, yes, sir. What did you want from him? Yes.
Oh no!
I've seen some movies.
I'm doing you a favor right now. Both of you are not getting that edited out of the show.
I thought this was American.
No. I liked it better when Jill didn't talk. If we cut rates and the consumer gets too excited because rates do drop, which is not a guarantee, by the way.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is home prices are going to go up. We do not want home prices to continue to rise.
Right.
You do not want a rapid pace escalation in home price valuations right now. Okay. Mm-hmm. So and I will say after the last rate cut, mortgage rates went up, not down.
Right.
So that actually could be a good thing. There is an over 90% probability of a rate cut in September on the 17th now. That's coming. We've talked about it on prior shows. So a measured cut, which I believe the market is already priced in,
yes,
right now would be okay. It's stable.
Right.
Perception, important.
Mm-hmm.
You do something wild like fire FOMC people, force them to resign, move Jerome Powell out. Mm-hmm. Market loses confidence that we have actual people caring about monetary policy. Now we're pushing a political agenda. And guess what? Inflation runs rampant. You're right back to the situation, the starting point. Not good.
Yeah, 100%. It's all the work that the Fed and Jerome Powell have put in to get us to this point would all go to waste. And if they're baking in a 25 basis point rate cut in September, like, I don't see it doing much to mortgage prices right now.
The bank stock sector already responded to that after the last series of financial data came out. You saw the KBRE, the small bank index, rise, and a lot of the regional banks, community banks saw their price go up a little bit. That was because the market was pricing in the rate cut already.
Right. So if exactly, if the market feels like mortgage rates should come down, they're going to start baking in the cut ahead of time. They're not going to wait for the cut to actually happen.
Mortgage rates have already come down in response to it. That's already happened.
Yeah.
So the rates you're seeing today, I was having dinner with somebody. I'm not going to mention their name, my brother, and he was like super excited about the idea of
a rate cut.
Of the rate cut. He's like, "Oh, the market's going to light on fire," and I'm like, "You're already seeing it now. Like,
this is what it's going to be like after. Yeah.
This is the best you get."
Yeah.
And I said, just anecdotally, the last time they cut mortgage rates went up,
mm-hmm.
and he was like, "What?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, dog.
Yeah, that's how this works.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do a podcast on this. You should listen to it sometime.
I know. Exactly.
So it wasn't just LBJ, though. Nixon and Arthur Burns, 1971 and 1972. Richard Nixon, facing re-election, leaned relentlessly on Fed Chair Arthur Burns. Nixon's tapes even show him saying, remember the old Nixon tapes? Yeah.
Yep.
"We'll take inflation if necessary, but we can't take unemployment."
Yeah. Yeah. Unacceptable.
Decent Nixon impression? Not really great. You don't even know what Nixon sounds like. You're too young.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know.
No.
All you know
I didn't
is
listen. I didn't listen to the tapes.
Burns slashed rates to juice the economy before the election. Nixon won big in 1972, but the aftermath, runaway inflation, and stagflation, ding, 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 buzzword,
Mm-hmm.
a toxic mix of rising prices and stagnant growth in the 1970s. Short-term politics trumped long-term stability. We paid the price with double-digit inflation, gas lines, and the malaise decade.
Wow.
Which I have no idea what the hell that's referencing, but that's what it says.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Trump isn't new to this. That's right, kids. The last person who did it was Trump himself.
Yeah.
From 2018 to 2019, him versus Powell, Donald Trump broke new ground by attacking Fed Chair Jerome Powell in public on Twitter. Oh, that sounds familiar. He called the Fed crazy, accused Powell of being an enemy of the people, and pressured for rate cuts. The Fed, trying to maintain independence, looked boxed in, raising rates, and you look political, cut rates, and you look political. Even if Powell didn't cave, the damage was perception. If the market thinks the Fed isn't independent, confidence cracks. And markets run on confidence as much as fundamentals. And I would argue today, more than ever, more than fundamentals, the market is driven much more by confidence and by rhetoric.
Yeah. Boy, Regil pulled this up here. This is what the malaise decade was. Typically refers to the period from the mid-70s to the mid-80s in American automotive history. The era was characterized by a decline in the performance and appeal of domestic vehicles, largely due to a combination of factors, including the 73 oil crisis.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
And now you know.
Decline in performance and appeal.
Now you know. 3 words.
Now you know that. And now you know.
Yeah. I thought we agreed you were going to say more than 3 words every time now.
Said more than 3 words.
There you go. See how I got it out of him?
See,
that's how you coax it out.
Gotta add all the fillers in.
He's Jerome Powell, and I'm Trump. That's how you get what you want.
If anything, the Fed and the FOMC standing their ground right now when a president in the current administration is leaning so heavily on them the way that they are, and for them to not budge, that should just give them more should give the markets more confidence in them that they are acting independently.
That's certainly an important part of this. I don't think people see that, though, in the message. I think the problem is that people go, okay, there's an argument. Most people, and I don't mean to generalize, but most people, they hear stuff like this and they go, okay, politicians and rich people are fighting.
But forget about most people. Think about the big financial institutions that are relying on the stability of the country as a whole and the long-term vision, right? So if I was somebody in charge there at one of these major hedge funds, right, I'd think to myself, okay, well, it looks like they're going to do what's right, right? And what's right for the country right now is to continue to go through the pain that we're dealing with, not too easy, because we know that if they cut too quickly, inflation is going to spike back up again. And this, like we've been talking about for the last 2 years, this 2, 3 year, 4 year problem is going to turn into a 10-year problem.
We're still very much a possibility there.
Yeah.
It's still real. And I think that this has been a looming issue and confrontation for too long. I mean, if you look back to the president's prior term, this was an issue back then.
Mm-hmm.
And this is weird because you're supposed to have the independence of the Fed.
Yeah.
For exactly this reason. Exactly. I mean, again, Nixon did it, LBJ did it, other people have done it, so it's not new.
And if I was somebody on the outside and I'm thinking to myself, why would Trump want to do this, or why is his administration or the people with him really pushing this agenda? for him, I think at this point, if anything, it all comes down to legacy, right? In my opinion. And he wants to have a legacy that says, when I was in charge, because we know what happens. If you cut rates now, you're going to have an asset bubble where assets in the stock market's going to go wild.
Everybody's going to get rich during your tenure, and then when you're done,
well, people who invest,
the economy shifts.
Yeah, the companies and the people who actually invest their money are going to get rich, and the people who don't and don't have enough money to never will.
Yeah.
You're never going to get to a point where you can buy a home. You're never going to get to a point where you can make enough money to keep up, let alone invest. So the rich, like we always talk about, that gap between
wealth disparity.
Yeah, the wealth disparity is that gap is just going to widen.
Yeah, I think it has been steadily for a long time, but it's just happened at such a slow cadence that people are kind of turning a blind eye to it. Mm-hmm. But we're in a generational pivot point now, more so than ever,
because we've all been guilty of this. Yeah. We've all been guilty of at some point in time allowing, like if Obama comes into office, right, and makes certain changes, and then the next president comes into the office. We don't look back and say, "Oh, everything that we're dealing with now is because of what Obama did." Right? It's no. It's happening under this administration, so this person gets the credit or this person gets the fault. Right?
Perception.
It's all perception. Yeah. Right? Back to your point. So Trump realizes that it's got to happen during my term. So I want assets to boom while I'm here.
But I would argue the assets were already booming they're booming now currently. The stock market's at all-time highs.
But we're overdue.
We are overdue, and that's the problem. Is if you hold off what is overdue, you're just making the correction bigger.
And to him, this doesn't affect me, and it doesn't affect the people I'm closest to after the fact. So it's a legacy, dude. It's a legacy play.
Maybe I don't claim to know what the hell he's thinking, but I'll tell you that I think it's a bad decision. Period. Mm-hmm. And legacy or not, it's a bad decision. And the last thing you want for your legacy is people to look back and be like, well, our economy's fucked and he did it.
Right.
And that, I think that you're walking a fine line right now of being, unlike a lot of presidents past who walked into bad situations and they're like, oh, it happened during this guy's watch. You're going to be able to point and go, this is the moment in time.
Yeah.
This is the catalyst. We still don't have a, quote, catalyst for whatever recessionary correction we're going to be in. And the last thing you want it to do is come from the White House. The last thing you want to do is be that visible a connection.
Well.
Regil, screensaver's on, brother.
Yeah.
Look at you. What are you doing over
here? Yeah.
But working on it.
Yeah, over there playing on his phone.
I
got you, dog.
But you and I had a conversation off air where we were talking about an article that came out recently, and with the new 401k changes.
Yeah.
Right? Where you can now, I don't know if you can yet, has it officially passed it or not, but what they're trying to push is you'll be able to invest your 401k into these private equity firms.
Yeah, and so I don't like the idea of this on many levels.
It scares me for people to take that gamble, right? But it's like
we are giving the protections that were in place to prevent that. You could argue both sides. It was punitive to consumers, but beneficial to consumers as well. Funds are where most of the money goes. Mm-hmm. That's just in society. That's where most of the money gets invested into funds, and the funds buy stuff, which is why anybody who wants real money on Wall Street, they go to the funds because that's who has all the cash. Mm-hmm. But allowing people to gamble with their 401k, it's fun. I don't. God, this is not me. I'm pretty humble.
Just say it, bro. You got to give it. It's
no.
It's just honesty.
I hit a milestone moment this week where I've got $1 million in an account, just a trading account.
Yeah.
And
your Acorns account.
No, not my Acorns. There's a Fidelity account. Yeah. But you're growing up as a kid. I always wanted $1 million cash in an account, but then you start buying real estate, and then you have like equity that builds over time.
Yeah.
And then I became the person who started buying stock the way we talk about on the show, or a lot of index funds. And after I got a pretty healthy degree of amount of money in index funds, I started buying stocks that really resonated with me. And we've talked about this in the show a lot, right? So I started buying Apple. I started buying
companies that you believe in and can understand what it is that they're
products
doing.
That I liked. People, things that I thought, and some of them weren't winners. Some of them were definitely losers over time. But and I have several different trading accounts. One's like an active trading account. This is my active trading account. And for active, for me, it just means that whenever I see something that I want to buy, I go buy it. And I very rarely sell. But that account hit $1 million recently. And to me, it was a kind of a milestone moment because like that was that thing as a kid that I kind of wanted, although it wasn't cash in an account per se.
Yeah, but still.
I'm a real estate guy. I'm not a stock guy. So for me to have that as a real estate investor,
pretty cool.
It was a milestone moment to me. But I look back on it and I think to myself, would I have had that if I was younger and investing in some of the things that we're now able to invest in that's a little more risky? I don't know.
Yeah, and it's scary, right? Because I don't know how much people understand, and I myself don't know enough about this to talk about how investors into private equity firms even work, right? But what worries me is, like, why would you want the average person to be able to invest their money into a PE firm? Are they hurting to see investors? Is private equity the potential catalyst for what's to come?
I do think so. Yeah, I think private equity. God, I have to walk the line here. I have confidentiality agreements in place. I think private equity is very, very aggressive in the market right now because capital for them has been cheap for a very long time, and there are really no alternatives to what there used to be for some of these capital sources. And private equity's filled the void, and they're bought in a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that any dinging the private equity, which is a leverage and risk business, it's probably necessary, and there's probably a certain amount of that default, which should happen, is going to have resonating impacts to a lot of companies. And those companies are going to have resonating impacts to a lot of employees. Mm-hmm. And it's just this really a nasty trickle-down effect. And there's been a lot of speculation in the markets whether private equity is going to be the source for the next recessionary economy. And I don't know if that's 100% true, but I do know that
it's also intertwined.
Yeah, there's a likelihood there. But let's get into the mortgage fraud a little bit because it's kind of hilarious. We didn't describe it on purpose. We didn't describe the mortgage fraud on purpose. So I went over to Bloomberg. Fed found over 22,000 mortgages like those Pulte was flagging. Regil, thank you for pulling it up, brother.
You are very welcome, Christopher.
You are very welcome, Christopher. 5 words. Woo! Boom. 6.
And also a side note, if you have any questions about financial stuff, there's this guy I can recommend, Harsha.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Old guest on the show.
Yeah.
Strand Life.
Is this his website?
This is a free plug?
Yeah, it is.
Hey, did he pay you for this? A free plug?
He should.
That's what he just did.
You pay me in hair plugs. I do my mom. I FaceTime my mom the other day, and I have a little magnet in the back of the phone, and I had it on the microwave while I was making pancakes for my son on like a Sunday morning. My wife was with Regil's wife at Disneyland. No invite for me or the kids
or me.
Same here.
Ain't nobody like
me. Ain't nobody like me.
And
I like churros, bro.
My mom's like, "Oh, bro, have you had the cream cheese filled pretzels?"
No, I haven't. Cream cheese filled pretzel. I'm not a cream cheese guy.
I know. Neither am I.
So good.
So good.
Yeah. It's basically cocaine.
Yeah.
What?
I'm pretty sure Hunter Biden was there.
I was going to say that.
You
got to me first.
Yeah. First HB reference of the show. Hey.
He's the new Diddy of the show.
Yeah.
We got to find a way to work him in.
Everybody bring your pipe to work day.
What's the pipeline today? What's the HB today?
Yeah, they're really good, man. You should try one sometime. Not the crack. If you swallow that drink, man, swallow that drink.
Oh my God.
All right. So President Donald Trump and his allies are demanding Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook resign over alleged owner-occupied fraud, a practice the central bank itself has found to be broad-based across the U.S. And I'm going to admit, I know a lot of people who have done this, not intentionally, just as a matter of design. And I may have done something that looks like this because I have made life choices that changed. So I'm going to tell you my kitten in the street story and why it's not a misdemeanor.
Okay.
When we get down farther in this. But this is not fraud, okay? And the onus is not on the person making the application. It's on the bank.
It's on the bank, right? It's their guidelines, how they view it, right?
So the bank who took a risk in making this loan didn't get paid more interest rate as a result of this, quote, alleged fraud, right? She didn't default in loans. Bank's still making money on it.
The very loan that they approved.
Yeah.
Right.
Which they had a responsibility as a fiduciary for their shareholders to do the due diligence to ensure that these things were accurate.
And if they weren't going to give her that specific rate,
so now you're going to penalize her.
Right. She would just go somewhere else.
Yeah. And she would have gotten it.
Yeah.
And for all we know, she didn't apply for the mortgage anyway. a husband and a wife. The husband may apply.
Also factual.
The wife might apply. You could have a financial advisor who's applying on your behalf. I mean,
a broker could have found it for you.
The loan officer at the bank could have suggested this is the path that she go down, and she just filled it out. Okay,
exactly.
A Fed governor who understands monetary policy is not necessarily a loan expert.
Right.
Okay, so I think you're asking a lot there. So Philadelphia Fed researchers in a 2023 report assessed the number of, quote, fraudulent investors, end quote, in the mortgage market, which they defined as those who had more than one owner-occupied home purchase loan within 4 quarters after the first one was originated. So you buy a home, you say you're going to live in it as an owner-occupied property, and then within the next year, you buy another property that's owner-occupied.
That's going to be owner-occupied,
right?
So this doesn't count for people that want to buy like a second home.
No, a second home is very different. It's still owner-occupied.
It's still owner-occupied.
It's still owner-occupied.
Okay.
But because you have a second home, and this all comes down to risk, right?
Yeah.
If you're buying a home which you live in, you're less risky of defaulting. You're less of a risk to the bank of defaulting because they think, okay, the last thing you're going to default on is the place you live, right? You give up all the excess stuff that you don't need before you give up that.
Right.
So what happens? They give you better rates, better terms, less leverage on the property. You can put less money down because your risk of default on the property you live in is lower.
Yeah, they think that you're going to take care of this property better.
It's your home.
If it's your home versus it being an investment.
Or a second home.
That you could like walk away from.
You have a second home, you don't need to go there. It's a vacation home.
Right.
Times get tough, you're like, well, honey, I guess we're going to have to give up the lake house.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's more of a risk. So the banks typically charge a higher rate and require you to put more down to offset that risk.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes complete sense.
But again, this comes down to a difference in rate and more money down, but it's not a, quote, monetary default.
Right, exactly.
It's a technical default.
And you don't know if they got a better rate also because let's just say here's another example. Maybe they promised to bring over a certain amount of deposits too, which allows them to lend even more, right?
Yeah. There's all sorts of mitigating factors.
Yeah,
mitigating. We'll get into that. But here's the meat, okay? It is the chunky, gooey stuff in the middle of that pretzel that Saeed doesn't like, but really does like. Here's the cocaine. Okay. Federal Housing Finance Agency Director Bill Pulte has said that Cook took a mortgage on a property in Ann Arbor, Michigan, stipulating that it would be her primary residence, and then 2 weeks later declared the same for another mortgage on a Georgia property.
Oh, well, I mean, why do I care? Honestly, she got a better rate. So what? She's paying the mortgage, right?
Again, I don't want to be a dick here. Actually, we all know what I am. All right, so I don't want to be me here. But if she got a mortgage on a property in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and then 2 weeks later, got a mortgage in Georgia.
Isn't that on the bank?
Who was underwriting her?
Right, exactly. As the underwriter.
No one was like, hey, you had a couple $100,000 go out of your account for down payment on something. What was that?
Yeah, what was that for?
Oh.
Exactly. Yeah, and I see this mortgage on your credit report, right?
Yeah.
What's that for?
Yeah. Or maybe, just maybe, because 2 weeks apart, right? It takes longer than that to get an appraisal and close a deal. It takes usually, call it 3 weeks on average if you're going really fast. 3 to 4 weeks if you got any complications. Maybe, just maybe, she was refinancing one property, or maybe she was buying both. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe she was doing them both at the same time.
There you go.
Right?
That's also possible. Right.
And maybe at the time, she didn't know which property she was going to live in.
I mean, to call this mortgage fraud.
I mean, it'd be different if she did it, closed, waited 3 months, and then bought another one like that way.
But the term mortgage fraud.
That's harsh.
It represents, it means something.
Like you didn't falsify your tax return.
Right, exactly.
You didn't give me fake bank statements.
Yeah.
You just checked the wrong box.
Not even checked the wrong box, but okay, even if she did it intentionally, right? Like
now there are riders and disclosures you have to sign on your loan documents which say that it will be owner occupied.
No, I get that. But like to just say that this is like mortgage fraud and to paint out this picture and be like, let's get her out so we can put somebody else in, like, okay, we can do a deep dive on every single FOMC
I
number.
would bet every dime I have that Donald Trump has done this or something tantamount to this in his he's a real estate investor.
Right.
Okay. If he hasn't taken advantage of one of these types of loopholes in situations, I would be stunned.
Bro, I want to say that it's on record that he's had properties reappraised for lower values so he can get the assessment lower.
That's right.
So he can get the assessment lower so that he pays less taxes.
And then he goes, Well, my financial advisors did
And
it.
I wonder if he spoke to the appraisal company beforehand and been like, "Yo, hook me up with a solid." I mean, is that far out of the realm of possibilities?
You're going a little far.
Come on, bro. You don't think so?
That's dirty pool, man.
Come on, bro.
People wouldn't do that. They're ethical.
Come on, man.
I couldn't even say it without a smile on my face.
Yeah.
So, of course, this is all sorts of controversy. The paper's data set consisted of 584,499 loans made from 2005 to 2017. Of those loans, 22,431 were considered, quote, fraudulent. The share of those claiming occupancy for better mortgage terms peaked ahead of the 2008 financial crisis. Okay. That shouldn't surprise anybody.
Right.
They'll remain steady for much of the ensuing decade, about 2 to 3%. Okay, let's just clear this up right now. If 2 to 3% of your applications are, quote, fraudulent, is that really the consumer's fault?
Yeah, I mean, hire better underwriters.
Or, and there's some problems here. I will put it on the bank here. There's some problems with this, and I will justify a little bit of this. We'll get into the explanation in 2008 a little bit more here. So,
okay.
All I'm saying is mortgage fraud cases tend to relate to overstating assets and income rather than misstating primary residence. That's where you typically get the mortgage fraud.
Yeah.
Okay, so a former Fed prosecutor, Stephen Cazares, who's now a defense lawyer at Foundation Law Group, terrible name, those based solely on a home being falsely identified as a primary residence are, quote, unusual but not unheard of, he said. He goes on to say that they're rare because the theoretical loss to a financial institution is lower in cases based on primary residence where the lender basically got cheated out of a higher interest rate rather than the value of the home. Right? So the lender's just making more money. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, it's true. Look, like as an underwriter, I've seen plenty of times, like there'll be certain guidelines that banks will have, right? These aren't policy exceptions. There's a difference between policy exceptions and guideline exceptions, right? And one of the guidelines that I've come across plenty of times has been when they underwrite an individual's net worth, it needs to be larger than the total amount of credit exposure out to this one individual client, right? So then these investors are so savvy that they understand this. So what do? When they provide you their schedule of real estate, they say, oh, I have all these properties and they're all valued at X. And then you just do a deep dive into when they bought the properties. And, oh, you bought this property 2 years ago, but now it's worth somehow $2 million more. Yeah. So that's on the underwriter's job to be able to be able to tell this number is inflated.
And as a former underwriter, I have called shenanigans on borrowers for this exact same thing more times than I can recount.
Oh, yeah. And then if you just start to discount them, and if it becomes an issue, then you raise a red flag. And if you discount it heavily enough and it's not an issue and still meets your guidelines, then, okay, you're covered because you discounted it.
But you made an informed, educated decision on risk.
On risk, yeah, exactly.
Right. So it may sound small, like fudging whether you live in a house or not, but scale matters. In 2008, banks got torched because risk wasn't what it looked like on paper, hence the no income verification, stated income loans, if you remember during the Great Financial Crisis.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize like that was going on back then. Like they can't even begin to fathom that I didn't have to prove that I could pay back this loan.
Yeah.
You just took my word for it?
So in 2008, people would literally walk in and say, I make $10,000 a month. People go, okay.
Really? You do?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to buy this house? Got you.
No problem. Don't worry, guys. If they don't make the money, they won't be able to make the payment. That was the logic.
Why would they apply for a loan if they, right?
So by scale and reference, this is not the same thing as 2008. So let's get into 2008 a little bit. Let's do a little crash course, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Mortgage fraud in the 2008 crisis was very different. Owner occupancy misstatements were a piece of the broader fraud puzzle, but the real monsters were liar loans. Stated income loans where borrowers just wrote down a number and banks didn't verify it.
Yeah. Think about it like this. When you're that there's some people out there that get those notices or those advertisements in the mail for like credit cards, and they go to apply and they say, how much money you make? And you go, $250,000. Approved.
A week.
Done.
Yeah.
Right? That's how it was for these loans.
Yeah. So that misrepresentation fueled the bubble because it hid the risk, exactly what the Wall Street Journal has warned occupancy fraud may do today. I disagree with that. I don't think occupancy fraud is this material of a concern in the market. And what do I know? I've just seen billions of dollars in loans over the last couple decades.
Yeah.
So
not anymore, especially not anymore. I mean, I think credit quality, we've talked about on the show, has gotten significantly better since the great financial crisis.
Yeah, I think so. At least home credit quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be clear. Mortgage credit quality, not all credit quality.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
According to the Wall Street Journal, what is mortgage occupancy fraud, the claim wielded by the Trump administration? So we're going to get into this, and then we're going to talk a little bit about why it's harder to spot now. Okay, because there are some material challenges with doing this. So as much as I put it on the bank, it isn't entirely the bank's fault. There's just it's one of those murky areas where you could wind up in a situation where you just can't prove it.
Okay.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
So Trump officials are accusing another one of the president's political targets of mortgage fraud, highlighting a long-running issue in the housing industry. President Trump on Wednesday, as we spoke about earlier, publicly called for Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook to resign following the claim on social media, which we've already talked about, one of his housing officials that she committed fraud by designating 2 properties as her primary residence. The Justice Department is probing similar claims against 2 of the president's most vocal Democratic critics, New York Attorney General Letitia James and Senator Adam Schiff of California. So now this tool is also being weaponized against political opponents that happen to be Democrats.
Yeah.
That seems dirty.
I know. And you got to ask yourself, with everything that's going on right now, to hyper focus on this, why? Why?
Just,
it's so clearly obvious that he's trying to get his own people in place.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Everyone's got to see that, right? Bro, you don't care about this person committing mortgage fraud. Like, come on, you just want to get your own person in place to that aligns with your agenda.
Meanwhile, Nancy Pelosi's out here earning $175,000 a year, worth $200 million.
It's her husband, bro. Her husband's a great investor, bro.
It's not insider trading, Saeed.
Dog, yeah, he's good.
He knows.
He like that.
Yeah,
he
just happens to be invested in the stocks that I happen to have connections to. I understand the connection there.
Invest.
Nancy Pelosi's estimated net worth is between $230 million and $400. Oh my God,
bro! Listen, like, he just somehow gets lucky and picks the companies that win the government contracts. It just happens.
I don't really make bold political commentary on the show that I think leans to one side or another.
I think everybody can agree to this.
I don't fucking like her.
Both sides.
I don't fucking like Nancy Pelosi. I hope she hears that. I don't like you, lady. You're unethical.
I got so many jokes that I can't say. And
a lot of it's jealousy. I'll be the first to admit. A lot of it. No one would let me get away with that.
Nobody
would.
Yeah, and when she's asked about it, she's like, "Let's not get into that. Why do we got to get into that? Let's not even talk about it."
Yeah.
Convenient.
Yeah. Serial killers do the same thing.
Yeah.
I just compared Nancy Pelosi to a serial killer.
Yeah. But what's crazy is we can't talk about that and try to regulate that, but somehow professional athletes can't bet on their own games. What's the difference?
Bet on yourself.
Yeah, let me bet on me.
The problem is if you bet against yourself.
There's one guy that got busted recently, Chris. I don't know if you saw it.
I did.
Malik Beasley.
Yeah.
It's so blatant. Malik Beasley, by the way, formerly dated Larsa Pippen. Literally.
I think everybody's dated her. Haven't you?
No, man. I've been out the game, bro. 12 years.
Hey, Reggie, have you dated Larsa Pippen?
No, sir.
I'm surprised.
Future has.
There's 2 people that left. I mean, she's got options.
Literally just stood still and let the guy blow by him. And he's like, damn. Just doesn't move.
Yeah.
Doesn't slide his feet. He's a professional athlete.
Yeah. Well, maybe he was thinking about something else.
Yeah. He's thinking about later.
So it's a game of intent, this whole mortgage fraud thing. Did you lie or did life happen? The gray area is why cases like Cook's are unusual but not impossible. And it's also why enforcement is so rare. Why occupancy fraud now is harder to spot? Well, historically, lenders checked your job location versus the home address. Remote work has killed that litmus test.
Ooh, good point. Great point.
So life changes can complicate intent. Someone buys intending to live there and then rents it out months later. And I'll be the first to admit, I think we've talked about this before on the show, but I'll rehash it really quickly. In 2011 in October, I wanted to buy an REO property, and I put.
What does that mean to the listeners that don't know?
So after the Great Financial Crisis in 2007, a lot of property was owned by banks. They had foreclosed on them, but they couldn't liquidate them for a number of reasons, not the least of which is when they sold them at less than the loan value in the books, they had to show an economic loss. So banks were strategically bleeding these into the market so they didn't have to show the economic losses related to them, and they could manage their profits and earnings on a quarter-by-quarter basis.
But they were also under pressure because at the end of the day, they need to get payback on these loans, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So they had a strategic plan to sell them back down into the market. And going all the way into 2011, where I was, there was still a ton of real estate owned in the market. It meant that large banks or community banks owned this property. They were sitting vacant, waiting to be sold.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point where you would put offers in on them and not hear back. So in October 2011, I got frustrated and put a bunch of offers. I think it was like 20 or 30 properties.
Yeah.
Flash forward to April of 2012. I'm on a plane. I'm in LAX, getting on a plane to go from here to Miami to spend a couple days in Miami before I go to Paris.
Mm-hmm. Also hard, bro.
Yeah, it was. Remember that song from Miami to Ibiza?
Oh, I thought Ballers in Paris.
Oh yeah, that's not the word, but close.
What do you mean?
What song are you referring to?
I don't know. Watch the Throne.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Don't do this. Don't do this to me. Why are you doing this? Don't make this uncomfortable.
In any event, so I'm in the airport. I get a call from Wells Fargo Bank saying, "Hey, we've accepted your offer on this property." But I put in offers 6 months prior on a lot of properties. I had no idea. The guy on the phone was like, hey, "It's in Irvine, and oh, by the way, you've got 24 hours to give us your deposit." In 6 months, you could have spent that money. I could have bought something else, whatever, right?
Yeah, you thought it was just it went away. Yeah,
I didn't know. So I didn't even know there was a Wells Fargo I could go to wire the money out, because I had to sign a physical wire at this point to get the money out. And I was going there on a Saturday. So I knew I had a limited window of time. Went out that night, had a little bit too much to drink, partied too much, woke up the next day, forgot about it.
No way.
I'm at the day pool party going, I had something to do today.
Yeah.
What did I have to do? And it was, I had to go to Wells Fargo.
Right.
I tried to make a phone call, but it's during World Music Conference. And if you've ever been in Miami during World Music Conference, like there's so many people in a condensed area, you cannot get a cell phone signal out.
Oh my God.
So my cell phone didn't work. So I finally found out there was a Wells Fargo several streets over, but the streets are jam packed. You cannot drive. So I get a taxi that doesn't go anywhere. I get a car. I get outside of the primary dense area. I get a call out to Wells Fargo. They're willing to hold the door open for me so I could send the wire to them, which happened to be from one Wells Fargo account to another account. So it was good for me that Wells Fargo who happened to call me over the REO, and that was also my bank. I get in there. I'm at the point where my bladder's going to explode. I run to go pee. She set up the wire already, the girl.
I wonder if that played a factor into you getting your offer accepted.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I never spoke to anybody about that. So I signed the deposit, send it out, sight unseen, never seen the property.
That's so wild, man.
Right? I get an email.
You had intentions on living at this place, or in this?
No, it's supposed to be a rental. But I was renting in the same neighborhood. It turns out that the property was literally in the same neighborhood. It was just sheer coincidence that it was in the same neighborhood.
Wow.
And Regil, this is the property that I live in now. So I bought it for, at the time, $350,000 with a $25,000 seller's credit. I wired the money to escrow, and at the time I planned to be a rental property. I did the math on what financing terms would be, and it was cheaper to pay the mortgage payment than it was my current rent. And I lived in a 580 square foot studio, one bedroom.
I remember that studio, yeah.
Right? And I loved the place. It was nice, But this was a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,180 square feet. Not big. I still don't live in a big place today. And I bought it sight unseen. I had my dad go check it out while I was in Europe, and he came back and was like, "Hey, it's not bad."
Yeah.
It needs some work.
Good, yeah.
It hadn't been, the water. There's a lot of things that needed to be done because it hadn't been occupied for so long. So we move in. We've been there ever since. But it was REO. But when I bought it, I thought it was going to be rental.
Yeah.
And then I changed my mind during this whole process. But the guy that I put in the application for, the guy who did all the work for me, he assumed because I was renting in the neighborhood that is my primary owner occupied property.
He just assumed, and he marked it owner occupied.
He just assumed that it was. No one ever asked me.
So yeah, it's not always on the person.
And I had several rentals at the time in the Midwest.
Yeah.
So it's like you could have, and obviously I put in a bunch of REOs 6 months in advance.
Yeah.
He just assumed I was like a desperate homeowner who was in the same neighborhood.
Bro,
I really wanted.
I think everybody's, if you've been in this position before, look, I had work done in my backyard, right? The amount of work that I got done, I got multiple quotes to get it done. One quote came back half the price of the 3 other quotes that I received. I don't know why this person quoted that. I don't know. Maybe they're desperate for business.
Oh, this is a dude who got fired.
No, he still works there. I found out recently he still works there. But I find out that I'm like, maybe they're just desperate for business. I don't know what this costs. I'm not an expert in construction.
In your defense, that's not your problem.
That's not my. And also, I signed the contract, right? So if I'm getting a smoking deal, what am I going to be like? Hey, bro, you sure? Because I've got 3 other quotes that's double this.
Yeah.
Right. So if someone gives me a lower rate, like, oh wow, rates right now are 6.8%, but for investors it's probably in the sevens. But you're giving me 6.8%.
The government does this all the time, by the way.
Yeah, sign me up.
So you remember the movie War Dogs?
No.
So the two fake government contractors, they were trying to fake it till they made it. They were working with all sorts of illegal countries and getting weapons and stuff like that. They were selling to the U.S. government.
Yeah.
They won their first large multi-million-dollar project by underbidding the rest of the competition. And they went in. This is a true story. They went in to the U.S. government when they won the contracting bid, and they were like, you bid so much lower than everybody else.
Yeah.
And they're like, and one of the guys was like, just you mind telling me? He's like, well, we're really not supposed to do that, but
Yeah.
Given this such a great deal, he's like, you were $54 million below the most recent bid. And because they were faking it till they made it, they didn't know.
Yeah.
And they wound up going to jail for all sorts of criminal stuff later on themselves. But the government takes advantage of this as much as anybody else does.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
This is not unique to the consumer.
Right, true.
So for people to go, oh, fraud,
right.
It's a bit of a stretch. So let's keep going here. Lenders typically offer better terms on mortgages for a primary residence and let people borrow more than they would for a second home or an investment property that they may rent out. For a primary residence, for instance, the down payment can be as low as 3 to 5%. That property that I bought that they thought was owner occupied, I think I put down like 3%.
Yeah.
Actually, less than that, frankly. I put down 3%. I was a broker at the time, so I worked my own deal. I got my commission. I used my commission to pay down. I think I put like 2% or something absurd. I don't remember what the numbers were.
Yeah.
Or maybe I put down 5%, but 2.5% came from my commission or something like that.
Got it.
And then I paid PMI, and I knew I was getting it way under value, and I refinanced it like 6 or 8 months later on.
Yeah.
The PMI came off, and I put like nothing into the property.
Yeah.
And today that property is worth about $1 million.
Yeah.
So
wild.
Give you kind of wild how that all worked out. So for primary residence, for instance, the down payment may be as low as 3 to 5%. For a second home, typically 10 to 20%. So you're putting down considerably more, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
For an investment property, it's usually at least 20%. So the argument here against Cook is you would have had a higher interest rate and paid the bank more money, and the bank would have had you put down maybe 4 times as much.
Yeah, maybe put down. What about the rate, though?
The rate would have been incrementally higher.
Yeah.
And that depends. And she could always brought that down. So mortgage rates for a second home are also typically about 1/4 of a point, so 0.25% to 1/2 a point, 0.50% higher than the rate for a primary residence, said Garth Graham. Terrible name. Senior partner at Stratmore Group, a mortgage advisory firm. The rate is usually about 0.50% to 0.75% higher for an investment property.
I mean, come on, bro.
So, yeah. Incrementally more difference.
What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing? We're trying to push people out. So, mortgage fraud 101. Has anybody ever wanted to commit mortgage fraud? You want to know how?
No, I don't want to.
This is not your show. But if you were curious how other people did it, this might be your show.
Yeah. How did they get away with it?
Regil, would you like to know?
Yes, I would like to know.
Yes,
I would like to know.
6 words. Yeah.
Go, baby.
All right. So mortgage fraud sounds like something only shady real estate investors or Wall Street bankers do, but the truth is it happens everywhere. Sometimes by accident and sometimes on purpose, and sometimes, well, in ways that blow the entire economy up.
Let's hope not.
Mortgage fraud is when someone lies or deliberately leaves out facts on a loan application to get better terms, a bigger loan, or approval they otherwise wouldn't qualify for. Key word here, deliberate.
Deliberate, right. Yeah. And it's material facts, right? Things that can alter the entire loan.
So I, as an attorney, like to break this down into 2 different categories, one for housing and one for profit. I think there's a very material difference here. Borrowers fudging details to buy or keep a home. I think lying about income, faking job history, or saying the house is their primary residence. Sound familiar? When it's really an Airbnb.
That's all fraud?
Yeah, that's fraud. Yeah, so if you lie about any of those
lying
things,
on your application, it's all fraud. Yeah,
and so a lot of people who are in the quote Airbnb arbitrage space. God, what a stupid title. In that it's not all on social media anymore because it's not economically viable. But a lot of people were doing that, and they go like, "Oh, I'm going to live here," and they were like going to rent out an Airbnb, and all these gurus are telling them to do that. They were literally telling you to commit fraud.
Yeah, exactly. Just tell them that you're going to live there,
and all you guys paid for course, and you're like, "Okay,
yeah, I'll do it." Right. I mean, what are some? So previously, when people weren't working remote, they couldn't do that because they could request for bills, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, what steps can somebody take? Why aren't they going a step further to figure this out? Like that's the part that bothers me.
Well, as a lender, what do you mean? Them going farther?
Yeah, the lender. Yeah,
there's an inflection point of knowing too much. You know what I mean? There's a certain point where, as a lender, you're prying into way too much. Keep in mind, most lenders in the single-family world are not keeping these on their balance sheet. Mm-hmm. They're selling them into the secondary market as securities.
Yeah.
So they want to meet the GSE, the government-sponsored enterprises, or GSE, Freddie and Fannie. Mm-hmm. They want to meet their loan criteria, because if it meets their loan criteria, they can package them all together and securitize them on Wall Street. So they don't want to dive deep. They want the loan to conform like everybody else. They want it to be the same. I'll make it simple, okay? They want everybody's loan to look like an Oreo cookie. And they want to put everybody's Oreo cookies into an Oreo cookie package.
Perfect.
The wrapping, which is your securitization wrap, your guarantee from the agency, which says Oreos in the front. In this case, it says Fannie Mae in the front. Mm-hmm. And then you go and sell it on the secondary market, the stock market, i.e. the grocery store, and some consumer comes along and they buy it. The only difference is, instead of buying the entire package of Oreos, you, the consumer, can buy a piece of stock in that Oreo bag. You can buy 1 or 2 Oreos from the bag, okay? Yeah. And you own a portion of that Oreo cookie, that brand name cookie.
And what makes you feel good about buying a portion of that Oreo cookie is like, oh, these cookies here, everybody lives in. This is their home. This is their cookie that they're going to protect.
The ingredients in the back include all owner-occupied organic ingredients.
Right. It's their main squeeze, not their side B.
Yeah. Now, if you want something that's got, I don't know, like the original Coca-Cola recipe with cocaine in it, then you have a bunch of fraudulent loans in there.
Yeah, exactly.
But the sad part is most people really don't care. What they see is when they buy these bonds, which is when you securitize and sell in the secondary market, they're sold in the form of bonds, right? Mm-hmm. These government-sponsored enterprises will wrap them and say, this is this pool of mortgages you can buy. All they care about is a return, right? They're going to assume that everything is conforming, meaning that they all look alike. They're homogeneous, consistent product.
Yeah.
All us brown guys look alike. We all carry the same risk.
No, we don't. Not me and you.
Jill, you're a little darker back there, boy.
Yeah, that's why he's behind the door.
That's why we don't put you in the room with us.
Separate but equal.
So, yeah. Oh, man, this episode is
jeez, bro.
Do I just bleep the whole episode? At this point, I know you're gonna call me on the drive home, going, "Dog, we can't hear that."
Dog, you gotta bleep it all, bro.
I can't bleep that.
Not that. Leave that on him.
You spit on me right now. That's how upset you are.
Leave that on him.
I learned that in history class, guys.
No, Jesus Christ.
Sink or swim.
The first part, you're gonna want to bleep that, and I'm not gonna do it.
You're gonna do it.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yes, you are.
Nah.
Yes, you are.
So why'd you say it then?
What did I say? No,
and then he jumps on top.
Mine's so easy to bleep out. It was so simple.
It's gonna be a solid minute of silence. If people listen to this, you hear a solid minute of silence. This is why.
Listen, just do it, man. Do it before. I'm telling you ahead of time.
I'm gonna leave it on the streaming platforms and pull it off the video platforms.
There you go. I'm with that. You can't tell who said it. Prove it.
Yeah.
You don't have the audio tracks?
He manipulated my voice, everybody.
It's auto-tune it.
Yeah, auto-tune it. It's Kanye. He did it. He's crazy. Fraud for housing is not to be confused with fraud for profit. Industry insiders, brokers, appraisers, lenders conspiring to squeeze money out of the system, inflated appraisals, kickbacks, and identity theft. That's a big problem. That happens, you got issues in my mind. This is not the same as what Cook did. So the occupancy fraud angle is important here. Okay? This is the whole center of Lisa Cook's controversy. You buy a house in Michigan. You tell the bank it's your primary residence.
Yep.
All right. 2 weeks later, you take out another loan in Georgia, also claiming it's your primary residence. Why? Because banks give you these much sweeter terms if you live there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she lived there or not. They don't know if she lived there or not. They're not even saying whether she lived there or not. They're just saying you did 2 of these. It's got to be fraud. That's not true.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've already covered the financial terms and the differences. Yeah, the difference could be tens of thousands of dollars up front and hundreds per month in lower payments. It's not victimless because lenders price loans according to assuming lower risk. If you don't, nobody feels bad for the lender.
Yeah, nobody ever does.
Feels bad for the lender.
Yeah, you didn't make as much money on
you
this
think
loan.
Trump's going like, oh, I just want the bank to be made whole?
Yeah, right.
That's not what's going on here.
No, it's not.
So let's not confuse the angle and the rhetoric with what's really going on. No one's saying, hey, she bought these properties, she stopped making payments, and they're out money.
Mm-hmm.
They're just saying, you lied on your loan application.
Yeah.
Do you even know if she filled it out?
Yeah, it's true. No, but she did sign it.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I mean, when you sign it, you're attesting to everything is true and accurate under the penalty.
Also assuming it's in her name.
Under the penalty of perjury, right?
Could be in the name of her trust. Trustee could have signed it.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of different options
Or she could have applied for, like you said, 2 weeks is such a short window. She could have done both at the same time.
So would you like some famous but interesting examples of really material fraud that were real problems?
Yeah, I want to know what real mortgage fraud looks like.
I figured you would. 2008 financial crisis is an obvious one. We talked about it a lot.
Stated income.
Liar loans, stated income, no doc loans, where borrowers claimed six-figure salaries as dog walkers and baristas. It fueled the bubble because nobody verified anything. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Then there was the Miami condo boom of the 2000s. Hey, I'll put it that way. Let's go to Miami.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
What?
Yeah, come on. Cultural
I'm not
appropriation.
employed, baby. Fraud rings bought units under straw buyers, claimed primary residence, and flipped them. When the market crashed, defaults spread like wildfire. Okay, that's intentional manipulation and fraud. They're doing it under the intention of making money on it near term.
Yep.
Okay. As a reminder, she did this years ago.
Right.
And still apparently owns the properties.
Like, you had to dig pretty deep, dude, to try to find something on her to get her removed.
Yeah,
like,
and she has like a real generic last name, Cook. I mean, y'all had to look hard.
Right, exactly.
Someone slipped a social security number in there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Everyday fraud. People buy a primary residence and immediately rent it out on Airbnb. No one's saying she did that.
Mm-hmm.
No one's saying that she did that, okay? It's technically occupancy fraud, but lenders rarely check unless payments stop.
I mean, this has to happen so often.
And again, this is not the lender that made her the loans that's criticizing her.
Mm-hmm.
She did not stop payments. This is the federal housing. This is the federal agency,
right?
That's got housing oversight.
You know, she's gonna be like, oh, I'll just pay it off.
No, that doesn't absolve you of the crime.
No, it doesn't absolve you of the crime, but it's like, I don't need this drama. This drama doesn't need to exist right now.
So I guess we should probably talk about what the penalties are.
What are the penalties for mortgage fraud?
Well, lying on a mortgage is a federal crime, believe it or not. Yeah, so it's not a misdemeanor where you're walking across the street to save a cat. Up to 30 years in prison and $1 million in fines.
Anybody serve that kind of time?
Nope. In practice, prosecutions are rare unless it's a large-scale fraud for profit. More likely, lender calls your loan due in full, forecloses, or blacklists you.
There you go.
Again, none of this at the current time is coming from her lender.
Exactly.
So there's risk to banks. There's strategic defaults. There's market distortion. But at the end of the day is this is much ado about nothing, as Shakespeare would say. It's a divine comedy. It's a tragedy. But it's not a real material concern to you, to me, or anybody else. This is just headlines, baby.
Right. And this is another clear-cut example of how headlines can be deceiving.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Do I get any kind of shout-out for handling that amount of material that fast?
I mean,
that was a lot of material in an
hour and
dude.
6 minutes, dude. That was impressive.
So, gentlemen, Jill, I've been thinking a lot about some things in society, and this is one of many, the topic that we covered tonight. But there are some things that I think we take on face value as humans that make absolutely no sense.
Okay. That
bother me to my core.
You hooked me in?
Yeah. Trust me, we're gonna start thinking this stuff through. Okay.
Okay.
I want to be honest. Okay.
All right.
I was thinking about plane crashes the other day. I believe from a technological standpoint, we are past a world where plane crashes should still exist and kill people.
Yeah.
And I know you're saying, Chris, how could that be? Most of planes in service today go up in the air, go down, go up in the air, go down. But they've been doing that for years.
Mm-hmm.
We service engines. You could vary, and I am not a scientist. I'm not an engineer.
Okay.
But I'm also not stupid. That's stupid. Why don't we have planes that can just eject the passenger department with, I don't know, a life raft underneath the entire thing? Or better yet, a parachute attached to it. You're telling me we can refuel jet engines for the military in air. But if a plane starts to go down, we can't hit the eject button and have everybody in the passenger cockpit pull. Like, you get shot out the back of the plane and a giant parachute go up and they float down to the earth.
So I have a family member that is an engineer for airplanes. I did
not know that.
Yeah. You know, no, we're not going to name any names, but I'll tell you after the show. After the show. I'm just going to leave it very vague for now, and I'll tell you about it after the show. And then this person will
It's a she.
This person, she, right? Gets flown out all over the world to check on these planes all over the world. And she sometimes gets stuck at these locations for weeks on end to repair these planes. And it's insane the amount of problems that come up. Everything from exit doors, right? To
I've financed planes. I've done the whole I've seen the whole list of stuff. You know, when they work on planes, they take one engine out, put a replacement temporary engine in. They it's
a lot of trust, bro.
Yeah, they maintain and repair that engine. They service the engine, put that engine back, put another engine into the other engine.
Yeah,
pull the original engine out, service that one separately. The plane's flying during this time.
Yeah.
Put another engine in. Bro, have you put an engine in a car before and pulled it out?
No, but I know the amount of work that it goes into.
Yeah. They log everything. So it's all logged. And you have there's logs and tracking for all this. But there's a lot. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, why are we at the point where we have drone technology? You're telling me we can't build a cabin where if the plane goes down, propellers pop out. What is this? The plane that can eject and then say, there you go. Here, who's this? The plane that can eject the entire cabin to save lives in emergency. Why can't we build this? This is brilliant.
Well, they're saying that they can. It's just probably not financially feasible.
Yeah, it's not profitable.
That's my point.
That's the problem.
Okay, right? Why are we letting these large scale?
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, see, that's exactly it. It's basically like an aircraft carrier with that center that carries. Imagine it carries
This isn't the first design the Ukrainian engineer has produced. Last year, Tatarenko.
Okay,
baller name, received patents for an invention with an escape capsule system that would rescue passengers on board.
You see, this is what I'm telling you. Why?
This is
We all have satellite Wi-Fi now. You're telling me that any plane's going to go down and people can't be telling you what? And let's just cover this basic thing too. This bothers me. We should all have cell phone signal at all times in any plane. Period.
Yeah, that's still an issue that I don't.
We went to Hawaii recently. Well, the two of us, not you. And
I got a lot of DMs during that time. Like, dang, bro, where was your invite?
This was before I met you. So.
Huh?
He booked the flight before he met you.
That's really
well. I did.
Well, so if you book it, it's like, oh, we can't invite him. We already booked it.
That's right.
that's right.
No comment.
Silence. Silence from behind the desk.
In any event, they had Wi-Fi all the way over the water. I remember going to Hawaii and you couldn't do that.
Right.
So if we're that connected and we have satellites all over the world, some of this stuff doesn't make any sense to me anymore.
I'm the guy that always forgets to download his shows beforehand.
You don't have to do that anymore. You stream them all.
Yeah. If you get Wi-Fi. Yeah. If you have Wi-Fi on.
No, Wi-Fi on most of these flights is free to download and stream the shows.
Right. No, but I'm saying if there isn't, on the last plane ride that I had, couldn't do it.
What was that?
And I didn't download it.
Where'd you go?
Frisco, remember?
What?
Yeah.
No Wi-Fi on a flight to Frisco?
No Wi-Fi on a flight to Frisco.
Did you fly Frontier?
Probably no. What did we fly? I think we flew United.
Oh wow.
That's not. They must have a problem with Wi-Fi then.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is there's a lot of things that we have come to accept as normal in society that aren't normal, and we take it for what it is. Our parents believed it, so we believe it, and everybody else. Why do we accept this level of just frank bullshit?
We don't demand more, demand excellence.
It's just we've the whole world has gotten so profit centric that we treat ourselves like cattle and don't even recognize it.
Yeah, we just are going along. I hear you.
It just bothers me. It's not even that. It's like what's a great example of this I saw recently?
I don't think it's just that though. I think it's also, man, people nowadays are dealing and juggling so much, and they're so desensitized to everything. It's hard to stop, to sit and complain and demand more from let's just say these airline companies. Like, man, I got a lot of other shit I need to worry about.
Okay, but that's what right? The conspiracy theorists here. That's what they want they want us to be sheep.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, think about this. The whole concept of healthcare in this country is so ass backwards, right?
Yeah.
To cover my son, myself,
how do you fix it?
And my wife,
yeah,
is $3,600 a month with Cobra.
Yeah, forget
right?
that.
Because I'm unemployed, right?
Yeah.
Just for healthcare. that's insurance. So let's just say, God forbid, something happens. That's a different conversation. But if something doesn't happen,
That's so wild, man.
that's over 2 months. That's $7,200 that went to them in case something happened. But if nothing happened, I don't get it back.
Yeah, and it's illegal to not have your children covered.
What?
Yeah, like if you wanted to roll the dice and be like, I'm just gonna hope to not, get sick, right, over the course of the next 3 months. I think in California, like as adults, I think you could do it, but if you have kids, it's illegal to not have them covered. Look it up, Jill.
I did not know that.
No,
Yeah.
I think it is illegal.
It is illegal. You're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do they regulate that though? There's
Well,
so many people.
no. There's a form. There's a form you get from your employer that marks off that everybody's been insured.
Oh, so it's on the employer to regulate this?
No. It shows. It's just a form that your employer provides you that says that you have been insured, right, and covered over this last year.
So walk me through this. Who enforces this?
You have to prove it. It's a good question. I know on your taxes you have to show that you were covered.
For healthcare?
Yeah.
On your taxes?
I get a form every year and I submit it to the CBA.
Yeah, that's for tax.
No, but it shows that you're covered.
Yeah, Regil, I'm dying. See if you can find
Yeah,
wow.
and that's the good question is who regulates it?
Yeah, who regulates that?
Yeah.
So I guess it was eliminated in 2019.
2019. No,
Yeah.
I
Damn.
just looked this up. Hold on.
I'm gonna go ahead and let you read that.
Yeah. The penalty for not having health insurance was eliminated. Wait, for children though. Yeah, that was key distinction. I did clarify that. Is it illegal to not
You
have?
look very skeptical right now, Chief.
I'm a little worried. I'm sweating a little bit. But I want to say I'm right about this.
Even if
You can't roll the dice. You can't roll the dice on this when you have kids.
I don't doubt
And
that
maybe
it's true.
it might be for a long.
Ooh, that looks like a long narrative.
Okay, not providing health insurance for children is not automatically considered illegal at the federal level, but California, Massachusetts, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Washington, D.C. all require residents, including dependent children, to maintain a certain level of health insurance coverage or face a penalty.
Okay, but who regulates that?
That's
though?
a good question. All I know, the state mandates it.
No,
Like the way they mandate you to send your kids to school, it's mandated.
Yeah, but who what agency is going to knock on your door and be like, "Hey, man,"
Hey, bruh,
because your school doesn't require us to have evidence in
covered.
healthcare.
you're not covered.
Your work doesn't require to have. I mean, your work lets you choose, but there's not a requirement.
I mean, they're
there.
not checking it, right? But they do ask for your primary care physician and all that.
Yeah, but that's just if
They're
something
not.
happens.
They're not verifying it.
And you could have a primary care physician and not have healthcare.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like, who would enforce that? Somewhere out there is a doctor listening to the show going, "These morons don't know what they're talking about." Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We know.
Right.
We're stupid. But yeah. Oh, by the way, anecdotal, but have you guys noticed there's a lot of alien talk as of late?
You brought this up. You was like, it's just getting people comfortable with the idea.
I'm telling you, the desensitization is happening, man.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Every single time. I mean, on the news, and I look at social media and go, okay, my algorithms just I got you, dog.
I'm telling you right now, when the aliens get here, I'm coming. Will Smith, Men in Black. Let's go. You can be Tommy Lee.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we do, and they're just gonna accept us as like these guys are cool.
So you're gonna be the guy on Independence Day staying on the rooftop?
No, that's not Men in
aliens?
Black. That's not Men in Black.
It's another Will Smith movie.
You're merging.
You know, for Men in Black 3, he made $100 million.
No, he did not.
Will Smith? Yeah.
Deserved every penny.
And then he slapped Chris Rock.
Oh.
Yeah. Hard to come over that. Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
It still bothers me.
Bothers me too. Yeah.
He was so much better than that.
What was he though?
He should have been.
Should have been.
Yeah, should have been. He was the chosen one. He was Neo for such a long time.
Yeah.
Did you know the first season of Fresh Prince, he memorized every single person's lines because he didn't want anybody to mess up. So you could see him lipping it in the background. Everybody's lines.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't bite your lip when you talk to me like that. It's creepy, dude.
Why did you call me out?
It just you looked right at me. Felt like you were like
I had an
in my
itch.
soul.
I had an itch.
You didn't scratch it. Don't bite your lip like that. I was like, is he trying to say something? What you doing over here?
We had a review.
Oh, yeah, we did have a review. You want to read that?
This is actually under the YouTube video. So if you're listening this long and you haven't yet, leave us an honest 5-star review or head over to YouTube, subscribe, ring that notification bell, hit the like button, do all the moist, goody, good stuff. This from Craig Lee. I can't even say it. Looks like Craig, right? Agree completely with ending about guests. As someone who started listening to your podcast after I heard you on Mind Pump, Adam's Friday IG Lives, your thoughts and takes on the market is what got me listening to you every Tuesday. I personally skipped a few of the pods with guests because they did not apply to me personally, but your take on the market, Fed, banking system, etc., applies to almost everyone. Keep up the good show. I usually catch it on Spotify, but you weren't joking with the 4K visuals. May have to watch on YouTube a little more often. 5 stars.
There you go.
Gang, gang.
The comment at the end confused me a little bit.
The other one, right? Steve Burns?
No, that one. Because we are on Spotify video.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, we don't use Spotify as our hosting platform. So what Spotify does when you load it to your video to it, it rips the audio from that and pushes the audio to audio streaming platforms. We started using a different syndicating service. So the audio loads first on Spotify, and then within the hour of release around 7 a.m. I'm sorry. The YouTube goes live at 7 a.m. and then at 7 a.m. the video component also drops on Spotify, replacing the audio that's there with the video format, and that's there in perpetuity.
Oh, that's probably why, yeah.
Yeah, so if he's like an early listener, like right when it comes out, that's probably the difference.
Or East Coast, right?
Yeah, or East Coast. So what we did is we knew that a lot of people were going into work in the mornings.
We got a big group of people that listen out of Chicago.
And New York. Yeah, Chicago and New York are big cities for us. I don't know why.
They get us.
I guess.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
Oh, Bears.
One of my favorite.
Beautiful.
One of my favorite U.S. cities.
Yeah, beautiful.
I was blown away by how clean it was. I don't know if that's messed up of me to be shocked by that, but very clean.
Yeah,
downtown.
Very nice, yeah.
Yeah.
I was there last year. Yeah.
I was there maybe 2 years ago for a wedding.
Thanks for the invite.
It was not my wedding, bro.
Doesn't mean you can't take +1, bro. Did your wife go?
Say wedding crasher? Yes, she was.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It's her family.
Baby, you can stay at home.
I was the +1.
You know you want to take me.
It's a really good,
some point.
It's a really good time when you're there.
There's some point where you looked over
not
her.
Back then, not anymore though. Huh? You don't even have a glass anymore. It's not. You're not that guy. You're not fun anymore.
I went. So my dad's birthday was it 2 nights ago?
Don't tell me you had a glass.
No. And everybody's drinking, right? So I do this thing where I know the social stigma of me not drinking bothers people.
Yeah, it does. It brings down my mood. I'm just gonna be honest. Just keep your ass at home.
So I order. Keep my ass at home.
That's messed up, man.
Jesus.
It is messed up. I'm that guy. I could be that guy.
Can you?
With you, I can. No one else.
So I ordered an athletic, non-alcoholic beer.
Do you want to be an athlete so bad?
No.
You called it an athletic.
No,
why can't you just say a non-alcoholic beer?
The name is athletic, you dick.
Okay, sorry. I don't know.
And it's a non-alcoholic beer, and it comes to the table, and I'm drinking the beer or whatever, and somebody looks at the can and goes, "Does that say it has 0.04% alcohol by volume?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's non-alcoholic." Like, but is it though?
It's yeah. You can't just be like, there's less than a certain amount of cocaine in this. So I don't do drugs.
Right back to Hunter Biden. I don't miss drinking at all. Like, not even a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because you're not fun anymore. That's why.
That's not true. I'm very fun.
I don't drink either, but occasionally it's okay to have a glass. Like, imagine having a Hawaiian ribeye together and you don't have a glass. It's like weird.
Yeah, although I will admit a Hawaiian ribeye is due for the three of us. But you weren't there whenever we took Jeff. Jill had his first Hawaiian ribeye. Oh my God!
Blew him away.
Blew him away.
You got it with the fries too, right?
Yeah, you got.
How do you order your steak?
Medium.
Disrespectful.
Well, I mean,
come on, bro.
It's a Hawaiian ribeye. It's always charred on the outside anyway.
I get it.
Yeah, no, it's
medium rare, bro.
Mind you, he gets his well done. So.
No,
I've seen you order. I gotta make sure it's dead, man.
I gotta make sure it's dead. You know what they do when you order, like, people at restaurants, if you get like medium well or well done, they just give you the worst piece of meat because they feel like you can't tell the difference. That's an actual thing. Watch The Bear.
I don't watch. Did you watch that show? You gonna do this to me right now?
Yeah, I'm on season 3. Yeah.
He's allowed to watch the show.
He watches a lot of shows.
He watches a lot of TV.
He watches a lot of shows.
When the hell do you watch this TV?
Bro, You need to stop watching these new shows and get on. There's some movies that he has not seen that even
he saw Anchorman for the first time today.
Today.
Well, not the whole.
He
movie,
walked
just
in and he
parts
was
of
like,
it.
"This is funny." I'm like, "It's Anchorman." He goes, "I've never seen it." I'm like, "Who? What the fuck?"
I've seen clips.
Clips.
How do
Yeah.
you?
Clips.
This is the problem of the generation.
You're like
noises.
you take me strike me as a TV show guy, not a movie guy. He wants the character development.
I got to bleep that out now.
That's what he wants. What did I say?
It's offensive, dog.
What's
You're
offensive?
a TV show guy.
There's nothing offensive, but hold on. He probably can appreciate the character development, which shocks me that you haven't seen Game of Thrones.
I have no desire to see
It's
it.
the best.
It's softcore porn. Of course
No, it's
you like
not.
it.
It's the best.
You watch porn, you drink alcohol.
There's
Are you
literally
sure you're
there's
Muslim?
literally no better character development in the history of television.
That's not true.
The history of television.
I've told you to watch Loki multiple times.
No, man. Stop it.
You stop it.
Okay.
Yeah. Your son loves Marvel. I'm trying to hook you up.
Yeah. He hasn't watched the movies yet, but we're going to get him there.
Why? My son's watched the movies. He's 6.
So I sat him down to start, and he saw the opening scene of Iron Man, and he just ran out the room. He got scared.
Because the first Iron Man, he's in the terrorist desert. He probably thought it was family.
Yeah. now you got to bleep that out.
No, I don't.
I'm not laughing at that.
I'm unemployed, dog.
That's disrespectful, dog.
They were literally in the Afghan desert.
That I know it was. Yeah, they didn't even say they're in Afghanistan, but somehow when I watched it, I was like, that's Afghanistan.
They weren't speaking Arabic, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. When they were placing that thing in his chest, that's when he ran out the room. He's like, turn it off. I'm like,
I think they did say it was in Afghanistan.
I don't think so.
Jill?
Pashto?
Pashto?
Pasto?
Dude, respect. You don't even know what Pashto
That's
is.
his people.
No, that's my people. And I don't even speak Pashto.
Huh? You speak Farsi.
Yeah. No, daddy. They just call it Farsi. It's because for you to understand. But it's not Farsi. It's daddy.
Okay. All right.
I had to tell my wife about the peace sign backwards thing. I was like, be careful.
It's very confusing me. I still don't understand
Honestly, you can't live in this world without offending somebody. Yes, in Marvel Cinematic Universe, specifically the first Iron Man movie, Tony Stark travels to Afghanistan.
Bam!
But that doesn't say. The video explains how Tony Stark flew to Afghanistan.
No. Hush. Just look me in the eyes. When you look this way, you can bite your lip down.
First of all, it's not.
Look this way.
First of all,
look this way.
Where did they travel to?
Look this
Where
way.
is it?
Look this way.
It's not Afghanistan. It's Afghanistan.
You said it, not me, number one. Number two, bite your lip. Look at me like you did before.
Oh, Christopher. All right.
You can't end the show now. We're going. I'm just coming in hot.
Mr. Pajian, you got anything else?
Let's see.
He's got. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw a video that you can get a DUI from drinking a Monster energy drink.
Oh, yeah. I did see this too. Is it true?
Yeah, it's like a false positive.
Oh, then I'm drunk all the time.
Is this how attorneys are getting around DUIs now?
I think so.
No way.
So keep one in the car.
Huh?
Just keep an empty can in the car. Got to, bruh.
Yeah, I don't.
You were a big Monster guy until C4 came around.
I started at Rockstar first, moved to Monster, now C4.
I was sugar-free Red Bull for a long time.
I don't like what?
With vodka.
No.
I don't like drinks with color now. Like I don't want them colored.
Oh, you're part of that artificial dye stuff. That red 40. Can't have red 40.
I don't
RFA
mind.
has entered the chat.
That's your thing.
I just feel like it's an unnecessary additive. You know?
It is unnecessary. Why do they got to change
I
the
don't
color?
care. I just leave it clear.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine
I'm
with
good
it
with
clear.
that.
Yeah, like just because it's fruit punch doesn't mean it's got to be red.
Right. It does blow your mind a little bit. There's this ice cream that went viral a couple years ago that I've been wanting to get. It's just way too expensive, but I think we should get it for the show and try it on the show.
Mm.
It looks like it's fried chicken, but it's ice cream.
Why would I?
We should do that.
What flavor is it?
I don't know what it is. I'm saying we should get it for the show.
You don't know what flavor it is?
No, it was on Dude Perfect. My kids saw it. Like, can we please get it? So I went online. I went to go look it up. It was like $60. I was like, or maybe it was more.
For ice cream?
Look it up, Regil.
How you gonna buy that though?
They ship it to you. I think it's out of like South Carolina.
Frozen?
Frozen.
That's weird.
Why?
You ship an ice cream from South Carolina.
It gets there in a day.
You got weight problems at that point.
You got no, but this is an experience.
Yeah, I can't listen. I don't care how badly you want the ice cream.
Bro, it's fried chicken.
Okay. I came downstairs at one point in time.
Is this it?
Oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Fried chicken ice cream.
Where's it come from?
What's the flavor? So many questions.
What's it called? Life Raft?
It's on Shark Tank. Dude, do they have ribs and
Oh,
shrimp
it was on
flavored
Shark-
ice cream?
Oh, I didn't know that. It's incredible.
That's weird. Ugh.
Look at that. Bro, that's ice cream. Imagine taking a bite. That would blow your mind.
That just looks like vanilla ice cream that's been like fried.
That's gross.
The hot dog ice
A
cream.
glizzy?
Heartburn.
It's heartburn.
Heartburn. Who are these people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not interested, but James Beard Foundation Award. I don't know who that is.
That's like Michelin level.
Also, don't know that one. Yeah. I don't really focus on food, gentlemen.
I could tell the Trizepatide is kicking in.
Oh, baby, is it kicking in?
Trizepatide is kicking in.
I don't think about it the same
working?
way.
Not anymore. Yeah, use it as fuel. Move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I eat when I'm hungry. I work when I'm not.
There you go. Oh, look at that.
Damn,
that's a bar.
Socrates. It's called me Socrates.
That's a bar. We're going to leave it on that,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen. All right. Good night, everybody.
Okay. Goodbye.
That's because you don't eat food. You have no energy.
Oh, no energy.
Bye.
I'm drunk off that C4, baby. Hey-oh.